Hi. So here we are at the end of 2025. And as I think back on this year, I'm grateful to God for all of the blessings that He has provided in my family and I. I am excited about what the future holds as well going into this new year. However, I have taken time to reflect on the challenges that I've also faced because obviously we're not promised a life without trials. We face them every day. We have to make decisions. We need to have hard conversations. And we need to make choices that will impact us, whether positively or negatively. And so as I've been praying, I've been thinking about some of the bigger challenges that I've faced and continue to face. And it brought me to the story of David and Goliath. And if you've never heard the story, it's a very iconic story. I'd be surprised if you haven't. The story is about a giant, Goliath, who's a Philistine. And the Philistine and the Israelites at this time were at war. And King Saul was the king at that time. And so Goliath challenges the Israelites to take him on as part of their war. And nobody wanted to face this giant. He was known for his size. He was known for his strength. And in comparison, nobody thought that they could take him on. Jesse, the father of David, presented 7 of his sons. But he didn't present David to King Saul at the time because David was small and young and he was a shepherd. And so he wasn't even on his radar. And so David decided to take him on. And it wasn't with weapons. It wasn't with training, military training. It was only by faith in God that he knew he would be able to defeat him. And so he takes his slingshot and his 5 stones and goes, challenges him. And here we go. Everybody laughs because they see him. Goliath laughs because he's thinking, you're going to take me on with a slingshot and a stone? And so David, with all his faith in God, takes the first stone and hits him right between the eyes, and Goliath is defeated. And so he didn't even need 5 stones. His faith made him conquer that day. And as we know, David continues on to become king eventually. And so during my readings, and I do want to read this, it talks a little bit more about David. And the title of this reading is False Goliaths. The verse is John 7:24. Stop judging by mere appearance, but instead judge correctly. And it says, remember the story of David and Goliath. I just shared it. That was a personal battle, not because the two knew each other or were close friends. They weren't. but because they were close in proximity to each other. The battle was about something larger than both of them. However, the unique thing God showed us is how the two were in terms of space and physical proximity. Sometimes it is the closest to us that can seem to hurt us the most. Betrayal, rejection, disappointment, it all stings. Know that God doesn't bless a mess. He doesn't need to be right and prove someone wrong. The battle isn't about the battle. It's about something bigger. Goliath was called a giant because of his size, but he was easily taken out because of his lack of substance. Don't let something that seems big cause you to forget who you are, whose you are, and the spiritual DNA you possess. To be a physical giant is far less important than being a spiritual giant. A spiritual giant is someone in whom God's might and power lives. Spiritual giants are extension of God's hands and heart. No one is immune to trouble. We know that. In fact, we are guaranteed to have trouble and face difficult circumstances. But we must also remember that God has already overcome every obstacle we face. Don't let a visible giant stop you from seeing the unseen hand of God at work in your life. Things aren't always as they seem. And what I get from that is our faith and our deeply rooted relationship with God is what carries us through. We aren't promised a life without trials. We aren't promised an easy life. As Christians, the enemy is always out there to steal and destroy. And so we are faced with difficult decisions every day. We are faced with difficult challenges every day or throughout our lifetime, that we need to have that faith in God that He is going to carry us through them, right? We need to trust, I might be small, but you are big, and you are the creator of heaven and earth. You created me in your image. And so our trust in God and our faith is what helps us defeat those obstacles, those giants in our life. And for me, what do I consider giants in my life? You know, there's big decisions I need to make around different job opportunities. And I need to present those to God and say, where do you want me? Where do I go? Help me make that decision. Finances can always seem like a huge giant in our life. That challenge, I bet a lot of us face. And it can seem overwhelming and all-consuming and cause us to really question where God is sometime. Hey, if I am yours, why aren't you providing the things that I need to survive? Not just to thrive, but just to get by. Sometimes it's our health, you know, the challenge of feeling sick and in pain. And how do I go from this to that, feeling better? Relationship challenges. God, I give these things to you. help me go through and be victorious. But sometimes, and a lot of times, it's not God's timing. And like I said, we want to give it all to God and say, Jesus, take the wheel. But we also want to hold on to that and be in control of our future. And so as we head into 2026, what do we do? How do we face those, knowing that God is our champion and God is behind us, encouraging us, asking us to be faithful, but we always have reservations. And that's a challenge. That's a huge giant we will always face. Or maybe questioning God, or sometimes our lack of faith. And my devotional for today, because that wasn't my devotional, that was just one of my readings. My devotional for today was facing the future. Call to me and I will answer you and show you great and mighty things which you do not know. As the new year approaches, we may be tempted to speculate about what the future holds. Will there be challenges and trials? Of course. Unexpected blessings and windfalls. There's going to be times where our blessings overshadow all of the negative things in our life. Thinking about the future can seem like an unraveling, an intricate mystery plot. But the prophet Jeremiah assures us that God reveals exactly what we need to know. As we look to the new year, we may try to gain a sense of control over the unknown by planning, setting goals, or making resolutions. But most of us realize that the future really lies outside of our control. We're not in control. He is in control. We can, however, trust God for what lies ahead. God sees everything that will happen, and He sees us as well. God, through Jeremiah, doesn't encourage us to try to set our course. God encourages us to call on Him as we face the future and to anticipate an answer. God has promised that He will be faithful. Be encouraged that He goes before you and follows close behind. His hand is lovingly directing our course. And George Truett says, I do not know what the future holds. I do know who holds my future. And I love when it said He goes before us, He goes ahead of us, and He follows behind us as well. Because He is always there, sometimes having to carry us through difficult situations and circumstances. And He just says, have faith in me, because I'm the one that sustains you. And I know what the future holds for you. And so I encourage you today to look at what those Goliaths are in your life. What is it that you are facing that seems too big for you to overcome? I'm excited for 2026. I'm excited to see what God has in store, what challenges I might face. But I know that through it all, He is the one who sustains me. He is the one who created me and who knows every single hair on my head. I was created in His image, and I am thankful that I have this relationship with God, the creator of the heavens and the earth. And so I wish you an amazing 2026. Continue to join us as we share our journeys, Juan and I, and hopefully some others will join along the way. So be blessed. God bless you. And thank you, Jesus, for the things that you have blessed me with and the challenges that I have faced. I have faced, oh my goodness. I have faced knowing that you are the one that I need to have faith in because you know my future. Have a good day.